Hello there, EV fans. It's Samantha again. Today we've got something a little different. We're going to be playing the last in the Escape Velocity series, EV Nova. Originally developed by a team called Atmos here in Australia, it's definitely the most ambitious game in the series. I can't wait to show it all off to you. I want to apologize for my lack of content. I struggle terribly with chronic fatigue and it really impacts my ability to make content. Hopefully things will be a bit better soon. Honesty is important and I am tired all of the time. I'll put out what I can. So let's dive in. First up, it's important to discuss some of the plugins I will be using in this playthrough. There are a series of plugins I've been using for many years, but I'll touch on the most important ones. The big three are shield bubbles, extra outfits, and ship variants. Shield bubbles is self-explanatory. It provides nice looking shields for ships and definitely makes them look a bit more interesting. The ship variants plugin makes it easy to purchase many different versions of ships, and finally extra outfits adds a lot of fun outfits to your ship. I won't be using many, if any of them, but it's nice to have them around nonetheless. As usual, I've also included the full screen map plugin. So that said, let's dive in. First we need to make a new pilot. We're going to go female, and we're going to go with full name, Sable Madran, who is a character I used for many years in the KOTOR video games, if you have played those. And the nickname is going to be... Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, we'll go with Samantha because it makes sense. And I've got all these different starting options, but we're going to go with the Trader, the original EVN character. And our first ship is definitely not going to be called Ring of Glory. That sounds terrible. We're going to go with Hyperion. Into ship. Mankind has colonized the stars. The early explorers launched themselves and their followers into the void with little or no idea of what the future would hold. Many were never heard from again until a genius named Omata Kane came to the fore. Kane designed and orchestrated the construction of the Hypergate system. The Hypergates are a means of linking systems light years apart with wormhole technology. A great boom of colonization began, and the dark reaches of space were suddenly not so dark, nor so distant. The ruling body of humanity, the Colonial Council, grew rich from the colonies, and the lifeblood of the Council's was the Hypergate system. But the Colonial Council grew corrupt, and the sickness of that corruption spread through every layer of society. Pirate attacks became more prevalent, criminals flourished, and politicians became military governors. The emasculated Council could do nothing. Terrorists destroyed the Sol Hypergate and crippled the network. Overnight, entire systems were cut off from civilization, society was thrown into a state of anarchy. Few could have foreseen the events that followed. Warlords arose, empires sprung up, and collapsed just as quickly. And all the while, people throughout the galaxy suffered in a new dark age. Planets sank into feudal states, and much technology was lost, seemingly forever. Yet from this chaos rose order. A newly reformed council advanced faster than light technology and slowly regained contact with the lost worlds of humanity. Over time, the core systems of human space formed a new ruling body, the Federation. Life is now a cheap commodity in a dangerous universe. To the south lies the Auroran Empire, a savage race. The mysterious Polaris hold the east, while the north and west are unexplored. You have purchased your first ship, a shuttle that will hope will lead you to better things. You are ready to start your maiden voyage. The universe, with all its diverse beauty and terrors, awaits you, Captain. No, I don't want to get attacked right now. What? We get attacked... Okay, it's fine. As you wander around the spaceport for the first time as a fully fledged ship's captain, a weather-beaten man in his early 50s by the look of him comes over. You look a little lost, lass, he drawls in a gravelly voice. You look like I did when I first taken my first flight as a ship captain. Mind you, that was nearly 30 years ago, but I never forgot that day. 'Tis a grand feeling being captain of a starship, and the first landfall is something you'll never forget. You smile and admit you have indeed just made your maiden voyage. He slaps you on the shoulder with a wide grin. Congratulations, my dear, he says, shaking your hand with genuine regard before stepping back, looking at you with an almost calculating look on his face. When I first made landfall, I remember running into a guy named Gary. He was just looking to settle down after plying the spaceways for a few decades. In exchange for passage, he showed me the ropes and how to get started in this crazy universe of ours. I guess what comes around goes around. He smiles, nodding at you. So I guess I'll make the same offer to you. What do you say? Now, this is the tutorial. I've played these games a lot, so usually I just skip this tutorial. But I feel like that would be taking something away from the experience, so we are going to do the tutorial. It'll be good to pass on some of the things I learned, and I think old Gary, bless his heart, will be smiling wherever he is. Well, he continues after a short moment of reverie. Enough living in the past. It's the future I need to look at. Eventually I want to head to Dun Roman in Journey's End system. But I tell you what, let's go to Earth in the Sol system, and we'll take it from there. To do that, just click the OK button below, and then the Leave button on the Spaceport menu. Once you're back in space, if you kept the factory settings to your keys, hit the M key to bring up the map, and start plotting a course towards the Sol system. When you're ready, accelerate it to a safe distance at the center of the system and hit the J key, and then we'll make the jump into hyperspace. Okay, here we go. Our first little shuttle. And we're going to make... Oh, you barely see anything. EV Nova is an interesting game because there are no aliens, so to speak. Well, there are the Wraith and the Cryptopods, but... Oh, no! No, 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 no! Why did that happen? Oh, no. Well, this has been an eventful start to what was supposed to be the tutorial. Let's try that again, shall we? Of course we run into... Oh, there's a Polaris ship. They're terrifying. We want to get out of here as quickly as possible. They have very powerful beam weapons. And they can easily just one-shot our ship. Just like that Manticore. That's a Manticore. That's a Manticore. They're very scary. They're made out of old Leviathan-class starships, and they can just destroy you with their ion cannons. As soon as you land, Barry gives you a hand to shut down your ship, telling stories about the times he didn't complete his post-flight routine and all the troubles he had because of it. Well, maybe we should make a start. How about we head over to the Trade Center, and we'll begin your tutorial, I guess. We're going to recharge. Trade Center. This is the lifeblood of our civilization. It's here that most fortunes are made, and more than a few are lost. It's not very exciting, but it can be lucrative if you stick around for long enough. You see, he explains in a gravelly voice, some places have higher prices for certain things, and others have lower values for them. Different places have different values. You make money by buying low and selling high. Sometimes you can buy medium and sell high, or low and sell medium. But obviously the profit margins will be lower. Over time, we'll start to identify trade runs. To give you a head start, why don't we show you a couple of easy runs to get you started? What do you say? Sure. Okay then. In the spirit of buying low and selling high, looking at the prices offered on Earth, you can see the price of medical supplies is low. So a good start would be to buy as much of those as you can carry. Now normally, you wouldn't look around for a while before you place to sell goods you have bought, but I just happen to know that Port Kane has a pretty high demand for medical supplies at the moment. So I reckon we should head there, and once there I'll show you how to make a little money on the way back. If you want a little money on the Z, you could try buying some medical supplies. Okay, so we want to buy some medical supplies. Now, we can't make very much money in a little bucket like this. Normally, I wouldn't do trading. But there is a fantastic trade route between two systems where you can sell opals for very, very cheap prices. But we're not going to do that right now. Back to Port Kane, I suppose. That's a hypergate opening and closing. After you're helping through your post-flight routine, Barry points your way towards Port Kane Trade Center. Yes. Trade Center. First of all, if you bought any medical supplies at Earth, you could sell them here. Now, obviously, you want to maximize your profits, so you could always make a return journey that's profitable. Now, there is nothing on Port Kane that you can sell for much of a profit on Earth. However, you can make some money by buying lowly priced equipment here and selling it on the planet of New England in the Wolf 359 system, which is one jump away from the Sol system. So what do you say? We make a trip to New England? Yes. So we want to sell those medical supplies and buy that equipment. And now there's Wolf 359. How many? Yeah, we've got 3 jumps, so we might need to refuel. Oh no, we shouldn't need to. It's fine. Now there's a lot. This game tends to feel a lot more alive than EV Override does. There are many ships, and they all have different abilities and different purposes. And some are very difficult to unlock, where some you get very easily. Like that Leviathan can only be unlocked if you make a lot of friendship with Sigma shipyards. But they're glorious. They can hold 20,000 tons. They're amazing. After watching approvingly, you go through your post-flight routine. Barry starts walking with you towards the New England Trade Center. Let's face it, you probably want to start learning about far more than the exciting stuff than moving commodities around. Okay then, familiarize yourself with this place and remember it. There will be times when you want to make some quick credits, so trade routes I showed you will be useful to you. But it certainly isn't the only one. Also keep your eyes out for special items that are often bought and sold in various trade centers. You'll see them listed below the regular commodities. To us, those who have been around for a while, they're known as junks. It's just a little common lingo. Some of these junks can make a fair bit of cash in a single trade, others are just novelty items. Keep an eye out for them, and they can make you rich if you're lucky. Did I mention those opals we could sell earlier? They're just that. Extreme rocket boards. No. Where does Barry want to go? Head back to Earth. Okay, I forgot to read. There's the Association of Free Traders in this game, who are kind of like pirates, but they're friendly. So they fly pirate ships, but they also tend to be nice. Whereas there's also actual pirates who are terrifying. You know, Earth has a ring around it called the Cane Band. Awesome. Let's hope the outfitters. Look at some ways you can improve your ship. Outfitter. As you can see from the crowd indicating the many old salts wandering around perusing various wares on offer, this is a home away from home for most ship captains. The universe can be a harsh place, and anything that gives your ship an edge is a must. You certainly consider buying a map of the local systems that are going to save you the hassles of backtracking and stuffing around. Other outfits that are often a must-have are the battery pack and solar panels, as you can never have enough stored energy. When you run out of energy, your solar panels become a lifesaver. Many pilots, indicating some of the software upgrades being hawked around, especially the gravimetric sensors, IFF decoder, and auto recharger upgrades. The first will allow you to get a bigger picture, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I've done this a million times. Sure. Okay, so what we want to do is buy a map. And we want to go to Rothorian. Rothorian has some seriously cool weapon systems, including the Hellhound missiles, which I just love. They're so good. They can take out large swaths of fighters in one go because they have a huge blast radius. I'm a big fan of them. Ah! Oh, pirate carrier. It scared me for a minute. I have to say, this game is absolutely beautiful. What a gorgeous rendition of the EV engine. You step out of your hatch, completing your post-flight routine, and immediately start to head towards the outfitters, only stopping when Barry calls after you. You go ahead, young'un. I've been here more times than I can count, and you're starting to get the idea. When you're finished looking and dreaming about all the upgrades I have here, meet me in the bar. See, now, Gravimetric Missiles. Very powerful. They can lock onto absolutely anything, and they're amazing, but they're expensive and take up tonnage. They're probably the equivalent to Hunter Missiles from EV Override, but they're also... The missile launcher itself is incredibly expensive. Radar missiles are your day-to-day money, day-to-day missile. You can have as many of them as you want in your inventory, and they only cost 1,000 each. But they have a weak lock, so they can be... They're not... But IR missiles are terrible in IMO. But there are the Hellhound missiles, but they don't seem to have any at the moment. Unless I go further on. No, they don't have any Hellhound missiles right now. Oh well, it's fine. As you walk into the establishment a little nervously and look around uncertainly as you spot until you spot Barry having a drink at the far end of the bar with a man wearing dirty overalls. Hey there, lass. Barry greets you jovially after the other guy stands up and leaves, smiling and nodding as he passes. How did things go in the outfitters? You shrug, trying to look casual. Barry chuckles. You get in the hang of this starship captain busy quickly. This is the Spaceport Bar. There's one in just about every port throughout the universe. A lot of backroom business comes through here, and you'll find people looking for one ship captain to help them out will tend to come here. so it isn't a bad sign to drop into one every time you land. You can also check up on the news if you want to hire an escort to boost your profits on trade runs. This is the place to be. If you're into gambling, you can do that too, but personally, I've never put much stock in it. Let's face it, the establishment wasn't making money when gambling set up. They wouldn't be trying to get people to put money into it. Anyway, I can't show you much here. How about we get into combat stuff? Okay then. If you notice the guy who I was talking to when you walked in, well, he's a scrap merchant. He buys ships that have all been all but destroyed, and pulls them apart and sells everything he can. I paid him to leave a small derelict Viper in orbit so you can use it as target practice. So why don't you head up there? Okay, cool. Oh, tutorial sucks. I hate tutorials. I like to dive in and know what I'm doing. Anyway, this is the pirate Viper we've got to kill. Hooray! We killed it. Viking in the tidal system. Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll probably need to stop and refuel. EVO has its charms. I'm still unsure as to which storyline we're going to progress through. But I'm a big fan of the Federation storyline because, well, I don't want to spoil anything, but it is a lot of fun and makes you feel a bit dirty, but it's cool. A lot of people like the Rebels, the Polaris, and the Aurorans. There's a couple of others, but there are 4 main storylines, and you can only complete each one in one playthrough. So, oh, this is painful. We've got to be very careful. Your ears are still ringing from the firepower you witnessed on the way in. That's the reality of the front lines between the Federation and the Auroran Empire, Barry grimaces. It's been this bad or worse for as long as I've been traveling the spaceways. This is one of the systems where they clash. You can see south of the system you're in Auroran space, and they're completely different to us Federation folk. I don't buy into the propaganda you hear about from the government, though. They're definitely a savage race. They seem to delight in battle. They spend at least as much time fighting amongst themselves as they do fighting against the Empire up here in the Federation. I personally haven't spent much time in Auroran space. I don't like the attitude I got from their warriors. They treat me like I'm a second-class citizen because I wasn't one of them. If you deal fair with them, they seem to be prepared to deal fairly in return. The distance to the east is the Cania system. Then you have the Polaris. We don't know much about them, but nobody does. They seem to want to mix it. They don't seem to want to mix with us, and they seem hell-bent on not allowing us to mix with them. And let's face it, they are centuries ahead of us in technology, and they want to be left alone. I'm all for leaving them alone. It saves everyone a whole bucket of hassles. To the north, things get unstable. You'll only meet pirates up there, although recently I've heard rumors of a new Greek group has taken residence up there, but I have no idea who they are. While I'm on the subject of pirates, watch out for those damn marauders. Most pirates are affiliated with the Associated Guild of Free Traders. The marauders are beholden to no one. They'll attack you anywhere at any time. The only good thing is that they're disliked by just about everybody, including other pirates, so you'll rarely be without help fighting them. Anyway, enough of the geography and political lessons already. I just want to reach the end of my tether on how much information I can pass on to you. It won't be too long before I know how much I can teach you, and you're ready on your own. Still, how about we drop into the shipyard to get a look around what's on offer? Let's face it, ships can only be upgraded so far, and after a while, every pilot wants to get hold of a better and more capable ship. Before long, you'll be dead sick of the ship you're currently flying around, and when you do, you want to drop into the shipyards. Yes, we do. Shipyards are cool. Well, this is the shipyard. It doesn't get much foot traffic as outfitters, but ship captains spend their money here often. On the surface, it looks simple. If you want a better ship, you have to go and buy... Yes. Anyway, sometimes you need a license to buy ships, and that's important. But you'll also notice that these are pirate ships. You can tell by the grey background on them. These are the green ones are just fairly standard ships, whereas the pirates tend to be very expensive, but heavily powered, and can provide a lot of upgrades on top of... Like this Pirate Valkyrie is far more powerful than a standard Porsche Valkyrie. So this Comera Racing Viper has 2 light blasters, whereas this one has 3 light blasters. This one has 2 Raven rocket pods and a Thunderhead lance, so they can just wreck you up close. Very powerful. So pirate ships, definitely. Pirate affiliated ships, wow, really good, but you'll need tech to buy them. Anyway, off we go back to Sol, because we've got to help Barry out. Barry seems to be a bit of a champion. I've done all this before, and I don't want to spend lots of time talking, although there is a lot of talking to be done in Escape Velocity Nova. It's about time for me to head off home, but I want to do that in a way that shows you where to get your most common missions around. I've been in contact with the relevant authorities. Why don't you check on a local mission BBS? Ferry Baron to Dunroman. As soon as you accept Barry's mission, an audio clip starts playing. I'm glad to see you prepared to take me on one more journey. The recording says. You can tell by the tone of his gravelly voice that he was smiling. I thought you might be sick of me by now. Anyway, he continues more seriously, I've passed on to you just about everything you need to survive. It's a whole lot more than you'll find out as you go, but I've given you enough to make sure you keep out of trouble. I'll see you back on board for your ship for one last hurrah. Hell yeah, Barry. What a champion. To Journey's End. Now that Corella system is marked in orange. I have no record there. That's actually owned by a group called the Wild Geese. They're a mercenary company, which are wonderfully Scottish. And, yeah, they have some cool ships. And they're mainly affiliated with the Federation. Hello, Reflexion. After completing your post-flight routine again, you stand at the hatch and say goodbye to the man who has done so much for you. Ah, you're a good kid, he says gruffly. I think you'll grow into a fine ship's captain. Just try to stay out of too much trouble and try to remember some of the things I've said. Maybe one day we'll meet again. Maybe one day, in your ready to give it all away, you'll meet some young up-and-comer who needs a helping hand. I wish you well, lass, he says, trying not to show emotion as he shakes her hand. I'm sure you'll do fine. And with that, he turns and leaves, soon disappearing into the spaceport, leaving you with a feeling of a little lonely, but also a little proud. After all, in the judgment of an experienced spacer, you have now reached a stage where you take on your role of ship captain, all alone. Still, you will miss the kind old man. Hell yeah, we did pretty good. And that's the tutorial. And I don't really... Oh, who's this? United Shipping. No, we're not going to do that right away. We really need a better ship. We need some money. Oh, we'll take that. It's not far away. Maybe we'll leave that as it is. We're going to drop these passengers off. And then I think we'll call it. Because it's been quite a nice little intro. Rigel 3 is a horrendous mix of toxic atmosphere and toxic bacteria, with heavy gravity thrown in for good measure. It is no coincidence that the Federation Hostile Environment Training Center is located here. After a stint here, most troops will be prepared to face just about any dangerous conditions you name. Small wonder, Rigel 3 is worse than anything else they'll ever encounter. Alright. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you soon. And don't forget, fly casual.